Good morning all. Today is Monday, it's the 28th of April I think, and welcome to Saba's Way of Life. So what am I discussing today? Well, first thing is, I was yesterday reviewing this channel from when I revived it last year. So I was going through the videos one by one. I got to about 6 or 7 of the videos and they were much shorter then. Now the reason I'm sharing this is because it's really interesting to diarise. In my case, the diary are these YouTube videos, but if you don't, not everybody shoots videos, write it down. A diary of how you're thinking. Now, this inspiration is actually coming from a very, very close friend of mine, Liz, who I visited, her and her family, in Spain last month, in March. And she writes these morning pages where all her thoughts come out onto paper, and drawing from that, and also the activity of going through my old videos yesterday, it helped to understand the importance of writing down your thoughts at any given moment in time, because we as human beings, if we're aligned to who we are and nature's principles, our thoughts and our perception and our views and our lens of how we see things should and will change based on our experiences, based on the books we're reading, based on the things we're seeing, and also on the time that we spend, probably most importantly, the time we spend in silence, either alone or in a state of meditation. And I remember in one of the videos I had stated, oh, forget about meditation. You see, well, it's not strictly true. What I was trying to get at in that video is not to place too much importance on the mainstream understanding of meditation, where you're trying to do something. Meditation isn't trying to do anything. This is why I said spend time in silence. Just be silent, because that would probably be more easily understood. But of course, as we have experiences in life, and I just want to stand outside near the sun, as we go through each day, we have experiences, different perceptions, we meet different people, our view changes. And it doesn't mean that, how do I explain this? It depends where the view that you have is the understanding of the source that it's emanating from. So you're always flowing. If you're living alongside the principles of nature, and if you are truly connected to source intelligence most of the time, and the understanding on how to do that is not something I can say in words. It's something that it's experienced, and I've talked about the fact, just spend a lot of time in silence, go into nature, move, meditate while you move. Moving meditation is walking through nature, walking through trees. Do it alone. These things are experienced alone when there's no distraction, largely, and it's a different experience when you're with somebody else. But when you're alone and very conscious of it, that's when impulses come into your mind, and you know that they're not coming or not emanating from a conditioned source. I can't explain it in any other way. So let me go back to what I was saying. So when you live in that way, your views change, but the views don't change fundamentally. You are the same individual, but you're living from nature's divine principles, which are then guiding you to make choices on a moment to moment to moment basis. And that choice, when it's made at that present moment from that source, is highly likely and probable to be the right choice, even though it may not appear so at the beginning. And I have gone back and I have reviewed a couple of the early videos, recognizing that some of the things that I was perceiving at that time are not what I'm perceiving now, but the principles behind it are. So again, it's understanding so let me give you an example. I put a video out perceiving that we have a duty of care to look after our parents. It's a fundamental thing to do. Now, yes, that is, but in that video, the message that I was giving out, or at least my lens of perception gave out, was that, well, without saying it, there was an understanding that one must sacrifice oneself to look after their elderly parents. No, nothing is further from the truth. Now, remember how you perceive this. That isn't because they're not important. It's because you are important. I am important, and therefore this is nothing to do with being selfish as perceived in the mainstream way. It's perceived with being selfish in the understanding that we are here on this earth to recognize and realize why we're here and who we are. And if an impulse comes from source to follow a certain route, which is coming from, when anything comes from source, it will be for the benefit of others. When that impulse comes in, that is exactly what we must follow. This is so important, and it's not an either or situation. Oh, well, that means I can't look after them. No. You scan the situation holistically. Look at, do you have other siblings? Are there other ways? Are you offering a solution to them? For example, you want to move, you don't want to live where they are. Well, can they come with you or not? Or is there another solution? You look for solutions, but ultimately you never, ever, ever ignore the impulse from within, because you will then leave this world, which is such a wonderful place to be living and experiencing who we are in this body. I don't think any other planets can experience it in quite the same way. You'll be leaving this Gaia, or this earthly realm, without having fulfilled why you're here. Imagine doing that. And you'll see, if you go into hospices and you ask those that are about to leave this world what their regrets are, it's almost always not fulfilling what they're here to do, and not experiencing love, and not being centered around those they love. That doesn't mean you have to physically be there all the time. It's balance. So that was one big change that I saw in my perception, and that's simply from growing as a human being, and also, may I say, from opening one's heart. There's different ways to open your heart. There's opening heart to our beloved nature and the principles of nature. You can call that your source intelligence, which is God. Some people call it God, and call it what you like. But also don't forget that God essence is within all of us. So if you find someone who resonates at that essence with you, then that also opens your heart. I mean, that's hugely magnificent when that happens. And it will only happen when you yourself first understand who you are. Resonate at that particular frequency, and then that creates a coherence that will align you to others on the same frequency. That's what is often known as, in the mainstream manner of, your prayers are always answered. It's always from the frequency that they're emanating from. So I wanted to share that with you. And on a more earthly note, two things I want to show you. The first thing is rhododendron. This is a dwarf rhododendron, and it's scented. You normally find the flowers that are lighter in colour, not so bright, they're scented because they need to attract insects or pollinators. Colour attracts pollinators, and scent. So because they're not so colourful, they're more white, even though I perceive them as being beautifully colourful against the green leaves. They're white, but these have such a beautiful scent. It wafts through this part of the garden, and I would encourage anyone to get some dwarf white rhododendrons. I don't know which one this is, but you can plant them across your garden and they would just look magnificent. The second thing I want to share, which is completely different, is that I have a bike. This was given to me by my sister-in-law, and I've propped it outside, or a friend of mine actually came over and propped it outside, and it's facing that television that I very rarely watch, although over winter I was watching some documentaries, and I can pop it onto a YouTube channel with some spin bike music and do a 15-minute workout outside in nature. How wonderful is that? And try to be a little bit creative in your way of doing things and exercise, because look at the weather. It's stunning here in the UK. It's absolutely stunning. It's bright. We're going to have a heat wave this week, and it's early in the morning now. I don't know what time you'll get the video, probably at 8, 9, but it's right now, I think it's about 7:30, and I'll just do 15 minutes of intense, high intensity workout, followed by some stretches and weights in the garden here, and that will be it for the day. And the rest of the day I can either, this is what you should do, then you can either do whatever paperwork you need to do, but make sure you balance that with getting outside if you can. Have a wonderful day, enjoy it, and enjoy this weather. Get down to the beach if you're able to over the next few days. It's going to be very warm. Bye bye.